Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are not hallucinating. You are not imagining things. You have not fallen into the multiverse. We are, in fact, back. It has been a very long 3 weeks. We have so much to catch up on. We have so much to go over. We have all kinds of projects and life events and all kinds of Sutton's Days, 100%.
Oh man,
Buckle
nervous
up.
again.
Here we go. Here we go. We were already talking about your pepper panties in the chat before you got here. So
Wait, what did I miss?
we're already
Talking about Sutton State's panties already? Oh my gosh.
For everyone, welcome in episode 22, the episode that just refused to be made and now is happening. I'm Casey with Cascadia Dispatch. Joining me, as always, is the Urban Prepper. What is up, Tup? How are you? How's it going? Have you barred the door? We understand that at any minute you could be pulled out for a family thing or whatever.
Yeah, this is this live stream has not been reported to corporate. So at any point someone could barge in here and storm it and say, "Hey, you're off." So
this is
no.
it's a covert live stream.
Yeah,
it's pirated.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear. Good to see you again. Good to be back. That's for sure. We've had a few weeks sabbatical, which yeah, I know we've both been pretty busy, and so
yeah,
lots going on.
It was like one thing after the other. It was the camping trip, and then I was on vacation, and then I got COVID, and it was like one thing after another, and we tried a couple of ways to do something, and it just didn't feel right to do it any other way. So we were like, all right, we're gonna make as Tup put it in the text message, the triumphant return of the loved one, Tup and the loved one coming back. On Wednesday as planned.
We were trying to do a special Friday edition, and then that didn't work out. Or I don't think you weren't up to 100%. So we're like, let's wait till 100% and then go on. But how are you liking my pink Hawaiian shirt? Is that appropriate?
Well,
that,
Pony Girl
is that girl adjacent? Is that
that is fantastic. Pony Girl wants to know who's the man in pink.
Yeah.
Could it be? Is it? Yes, it is Tup. 100%. That's
I sometimes wear Hawaiian shirts for work just to spice things up a little bit, and so for certain meetings I'll wear them. So I bought a couple new ones, and so I'm testing this one out live. I just took it out of the wrapping paper, so it's
okay. So speaking of that, I feel like we need to do like a Hawaiian print shirt, but with like prepper patterns.
That is an awesome idea. Like, again, stuff that's never been talked about before, like a Hawaiian prepper shirt that has knives and flashlights and gas masks and all that stuff.
As we've established, we are the bad boys of prepping. We come up with all of the best ideas. We have all of the good words.
I love it. I love that idea. I totally
have all of the prepper panties. That is what we do. That's how we roll. We workshop them with our teams.
Yeah.
I
have to say, I'm always nervous when Sutton Stays is listening at it. Just
Sutton's Days was in my chat. I have never had someone of that promise. You've never been in my chat. I don't even know what to do with myself. I was like,
it's intimidating for sure.
Screenshots. I was like, people will not believe this.
Oh, Daniel had a great idea. Like, a prepper Hawaiian shirt that's it could have little hints of prepper type stuff, but he says have the inner pockets for EDC, not like kind of like the Scotty vest. I think that would be pretty sweet.
Okay, I feel like what we need is we need to develop a little company so that when our chat comes up with great ideas, we can make them and then we can have that be a thing. I think that
we could be like we musicians and the rappers and stuff. They come up with their own clothing line, and I think that we might need to come up with our own prepper clothing line. That's
prepper adjacent clothing.
Yes,
it's like it's the clothing that you would never expect.
We could sell we could do Kangol hats, and they could have certain storage. Like I could convert my Altoids tin into a Kangol hat that's all around here.
Could we make the Kangol hat made out of solar panels?
Man, that is a great idea too.
See,
that would get hot. It would get hot though.
Look, I don't come up with it's not all bougie preps for me. There is some substance to what I come up with. Usually it's couched in bougie prep, but like in general, like I try. So there's been a lot that has gone on. I think vacation was wonderful. I did not prepare well. I often work while I'm on vacation. And this time I was like, I'm not working at all. And I always work a little bit on vacation. So if I come back, I don't feel like I'm crash landing. And then I got COVID. Our whole family got COVID. And then it was like, okay, I'm barely scratching through. But you'll notice behind, we did a little trip to Florida. And so there's some new decorations in the back that we're showing off. The new Star Wars gear and Legos and all that sort of stuff. So for everyone who pays attention to the background, there's a little bit of new stuff going on there. There's
It's
some
looking
more
good.
surprises.
I
I got a lightsaber too, but I'm gonna mount the lightsaber behind me, so it's the LED thing, and it'll be a whole.
No, I heard there's a cool some the Obi-Wan series. There's some cool segments in there that that I need to watch.
It is fantastic.
Do we not talk? Let's not talk about it right now. Or
we don't talk about Obi-Wan. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about N95s in the back of your prepper panties. The certain things we don't talk about. They just are. But it is.
Daniel's already getting the branding. Everyday EDC, Everyday Clothing Company.
I like that. I like that. I'm sending that to the trademark attorney right now.
Send it to our attorneys. I see Vancity Preppers here. Always good to see her. I've been enjoying Vancity. I've been enjoying your live streams too. So, and I try to tune in whenever I can. So.
Yeah, we've got quite the group. We've got quite the group tonight. This is fantastic.
Well, let's try to bring it on this one, and let's not get too nervous.
Yeah, no pressure. We've had like 3 weeks to warm up. Yes. Also, I put some podcasts out. That was my project on the plane. Was cutting up some of our streams and getting them loaded up into podcasts. So if you enjoy podcasts or whatever, we do the stream as an audio podcast as well. So that is out now, and I've got some more episodes that are going to be trickling out over the next few weeks. So keep an eye there, subscribe to iTunes and all that sort of things. Yes, 100% smash the like button if you haven't already. Smash it in both chat rooms if you want to. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends. It's all of the things. So what have you been up to? You went on a camping trip, and then
that seems like a long time ago, but yeah, I was a 6th grade camp counselor or camp chaperone, and so for the 6th grade boys with a couple other fellow, we were all Cub Scout dads together. So we had some fun times, and it was pretty trippy because I remember when I was in at 6th grade camp, and now I'm going to my kids' 6th grade camp. So that was fun. But yeah, that was a good time. I wasn't able to be on the live stream for that one. But yeah, had a blast. But recently, like the big thing for me is my father-in-law got his truck stolen outside of our house. That was like
That's right.
It was crazy.
You were in the middle of a Grand Theft Auto video game. Like what?
And I've been dying to talk about it, and we have this platform here to So we said, hey, you want to come over for dinner? And it's kind of I don't know if I want to say it on this thing. I had pulled a prank on my wife earlier that day, and so she was already assuming that I was in prank mode. I don't want to say it right now because I have some ongoing pranks, the same prank ongoing with other people. But anyway, so I came home. I was driving home. I was picking up some supplies for dinner. My father-in-law was coming over for dinner, and I see his Jeep drive off. Because I was almost to the house, and I'm like, I thought, they probably got in an argument, or he forgot something at the house, and I was wondering why, because it kind of screeched off kind of aggressively. But so then I walked inside. I'm like, he'll be back in a little bit, or he just wants to get something. So I walk in, he's there at the table waiting. Everyone's waiting for me. I'm like, did you let someone borrow your Jeep? And he's like, no. And then they thought I was pranking him or joking, and then and I'm like, hold on, someone stole your Jeep. And then so I have to run out there. We tried to see if we could find where it went, but it was long gone. So they didn't break the window. They must have used a Slim Jim or something. But they stole the Jeep last Thursday, and it's like it has a lot of sentimental value with my father-in-law's gone on a lot of Jeep adventures with it, and then my son has also gone with his grandfather on Jeep adventures, and he was always kind of planning on someday inheriting the Jeep, and so it was pretty traumatic for my son. And it felt like we've never had anything that large, like stolen, like stolen right from your front property, like out in the open. And so we went through reporting it to all the agencies and doing all the everything. And then I'm thinking about, okay, like what did we learn from this? Like, how could we improve our surveillance, our security, and the camera
what did we
placement?
Learn? Don't prank people repeatedly.
Yeah, I can't wait to tell you the prank, but I can't say it right now. I'll save it for a future episode because anyway. So then I'm like, okay, well, I need a better motion tracker over here because he was parked on the street, so none of my cameras picked it up, basically. And then I have I did a video on this, like for our home perimeter thing, but it was outside of the perimeter, so we couldn't get anything. Anyway, so days went by. Everyone's kind of bummed out about it. Then we get a call on Monday, on Memorial Day, like at 4 a.m. Hey, we found your Jeep. It's at a tow yard. There's been arrest has been made. See, Sutton Stays leave it. Sutton Stays off.
Bye, Sutton Days. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. So we got a call from that, and basically the person used it was a criminal bad guy, steals cars a lot, was using it for a burglary, an armed burglary, and got arrested. And so basically we went over to the tow yard, got the Jeep. He didn't trash the Jeep. They stole everything out of it. So every little thing that was in there, air compressors and stuff like that, that was all stolen, but at least it wasn't like totaled, which was good. But it was filled with stolen suitcases from some hotel or motel that he was at. So anyway, so long story short, so ever since then, I've been trying to, okay, how do I prevent someone from stealing cars now outside of our driveway? Because we're at that point now. So fortunately, this guy's in jail because it was an armed burglary. So the bail's pretty high. So hopefully he doesn't make bail because he's been in and out of jail. We keep an eye on him in the jail roster. So one of the things that we're doing is definitely you don't want to have a bunch of stuff in your car, but beyond that, we have clubs, not only the steering wheel club, but also the foot pedal one in the vehicles to double it up. But bad guys, if they want to get it, they could get around those. And I'm working on a video on it. All right. But my father didn't have any kind of GPS tracking, so now we're upping the GPS tracking. And so of true prepper form, you want to have a backup you want to have your primary and a backup. So on all the cars now, I've expanded I've got SIM cards, extra SIM cards for old cell phones. Those old cell phones are now hidden in the car, and they're charged through a power bank. I think I talked about Voltaic is the brand, not Anchor, but because Voltaic supports pass-through charging. So it's getting charged through the power charger, and when the car's running, that thing is getting recharged. So the power bank's getting recharged. So far it's running pretty good, but that's my primary, and we use Life 360 for real-time tracking. So we have real-time GPS tracking, and I know that if they steal the car, they're going to take the cell phone, but at least I'll have the tracking of where they're at. But then the other thing is we're adding this is going to be in a video, but adding some air trackers to that from Apple, even though I'm not a big Apple fan, but the air trackers are pretty cool, where you could have this you could hide it anywhere basically. And it'll anytime that it's like Bluetooth, but so technically if someone drives away, it's going to lose its Bluetooth connection. But basically anyone that has an iPhone that's nearby, it's going to recognize, oh, there's an air tag. Let me update the location. Boom, it updates the location. So then, and these things last about a year on a single battery. So that's going to be like hidden underneath the cars, and I'll have air trackers now on our vehicles, on the family vehicles, and I'll be able to track all of them now with these air tags. So that's the project. So that was my show and tell. I know that we're not.
Holy cow! But holy cow, sir!
Yeah,
there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, so that's again the air tag is in a sticky thing, so you could stick this places. But I also have it in one of these magnetic Pelican cases that could go underneath the car, so they even if they steal the phone, they could probably find it too if they were searching for trackers. But
yeah, okay. I have so many things in this.
That's my show and tell, and that's my story.
Wow, you just came in. I came in all over the place. Came in hot, and then you just were like, I've got backpacks. Like, okay, fine. Let's go with we buried the lead. Okay, so A, fantastic that you got the car back. B, I love the fact that you're tracking the guy on the jail roster sheets just to know where he is at all times. Well, that's fantastic.
We assume it's this person based off of the time of arrest and what the charges are, and so there's only one person that would meet this. So
there's 7 people for shoplifting and one guy with armed robbery and car theft.
But basically, this person has a Facebook page. I did some stalking, but one on the Facebook page looks like a normal person. You would never think twice that this guy's like a bad guy. Like he would just look like a normal person, and that's what happened.
Have you called the hated one and got him on this? Because I would imagine his capability with all the digital stalking and things, like he would come up with all kinds of stuff.
Well, that's another thing that thieves now, we're going to go dark now, but basically thieves are using these air trackers, not for good, but for evil, where basically they're slipping it in your pocket, or if they see you have a nice Ferrari, they're sticking it under the Ferrari and then tracking your car long-term, and then using these air trackers to then, Casey lives over over here. Here's his address, and here's where he goes. I'm going to steal the car when it's at this location. Like it's being used for those purposes. So now I have to up my preps a little more and have to have a scanner now because I'm not an iPhone user. So now I have these apps and stuff where now I have to scan for air trackers on my cars to make sure I'm not getting tracked by a bad guy, because they're doing that now too. So
I thought I had like started to at least make some progress and make some headway on some of these prep things. And then I get on a live stream with you after 3 weeks and you're just like,
we're going big.
Wow. It is like the multiverse. It's like we walk through a door and I'm in a whole other world. I'm like, air trackers. I got like tiles a while ago. They were kind of garbage. I was horribly disappointed with them. The app, like, I could never find anything. I could never hear the beeping. Like, it was not good. And so I haven't used any of them. And then Apple came up with their AirTags. And I was like, well, this is another garbage product because like it's going to be like everything else. I hadn't realized that it connects to every single iPhone and how many millions of iPhones are out there. Of course, you're going to get a ping on something. So now I have to go buy a bunch of AirTags.
Yes,
Thank you.
You could get you could get a single one. Apple, if you want to sponsor the Urban Prepper, you can
exactly.
A single one for $29.99, or you could get a 4-pack for $90. But
how much is a pallet?
I don't know, but I think having 4, you could easily find 4 things to stick this to. But again, bad guys, I'm using this for good. Bad guys are using it for evil. And but yeah, I think I call them air trackers, air tags. Sorry.
Yes. And then you have a scanning app that scans because this is the thing I need to find now.
If you're an iPhone user, it's going to detect that you have hey, someone's this. I don't recognize this air tag. It's close to you. Oh, wait a second, what's going on? But I'm not a iPhone user because I hate the lines over at the mall for it.
Fair.
So I'm a Android user, and I use a de-Googled phone for. I have a few different phones.
You really don't even use. It's a can and a string, and then there's like a pigeon involved at one point.
So for Android, you can use an app called Tracker Detect, and it's not that good because you have to manually. Hey, is someone tracking me? Boom, scan it. Oh, okay. There's no air tags around me, but I'm okay with that. So
yeah. Well, I would imagine too, if you're talking about people scanning and coming up with things, that like there are people like low jacks and things that you could get for your car that are kind of the old school way before everyone had air tags and everything else. That they would probably like those things are there too. Like if they're stealing your car, how much time are they taking to de-scan it or anything?
Yeah, I mean, part of me thinks, these guys are just dumb, but I mean, they hotwired the car very quickly. They broke it very quickly. They kind of know what they're, and I think the strategy that they do is they joyride it for a while, because technically in a lot of places, the cops can't even chase them anymore. Like they can't pursue them in a chase. So it's not like the cops are going to run these, get them off the road and get the car back. So they joyride it. They go, and then they ditch it at a place to see if it's being GPS tracked. They'll leave it there for a few days, and then, oh, no one's found it at this location. It must not be tracked right now. So then they go back to it, and then they go do whatever bad things they want to do. That's what I'm learning.
That is really interesting. And I appreciate you sharing that, because I wouldn't have put any of that together. And the fact that you have that all now, I am ordering AirTags as we speak.
Yeah, so I'm working on a video. Everything's harder when you have to make a video, because I can work really fast on these prepping projects when I don't have to document it. But now I'm like, oh, well, I got to put a video out on it because others are going to run into this problem too. And it's part of our responsibility.
This is a question for the chat. I'm going to throw this out there to the chat, because I agree with you that when it comes to prepping projects, there are lots of times where I've got something and maybe I took some videos of it. Like I did a cooler comparison 2 summers ago, probably at this point, I was calling it the Yeti Killer. And it was a type of cooler that I had found. It's a Coleman IGX or IMX or something like that. And it was great because it's like $100 less than the Yeti, but it actually performed just as well or better than the Yeti did. And we had taken the Yeti camping with us, and so we were testing and comparing for future ones. And I've got this footage, I've got all this stuff, and I'm like, when is the time that I'm going to actually put this video together? And I've been watching a bunch of other channels that also do a lot of informational content. And a lot of what I'm seeing is, instead of them doing highly produced videos, they're doing more like talking head live streams with a couple of annotations or just some feedback and getting the content out.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering like how everybody feels about that, because Tup obviously puts together very high quality videos that look fantastic. I attempt from time to time. I don't even think I've put an actual video together in probably 6 or 8 months at this point. The live streams have been fantastic, but I haven't had time to put a video together. And I've been wondering if I should go to more of like this kind of talking, almost like a mini stream sort of discussion point on those sorts of videos. I'm curious if people in the chat have an opinion. Like, do you prefer one or the other? Would you watch one version more than another? Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, then you have to account on the whole algorithms and stuff like that. Like if you're putting out regular content, the talking head stuff, like it's gonna help you out like with your reach and stuff. But
Yeah.
for me, it's like I don't know. I feel like a lot of the videos, it's part of my portfolio. It's part of my resume. Like I want it, and I want it to stand the test of time. So part of me wants to do the quality, but then on the other part, I'm like, well, maybe I should just get the information out and just a lot of people like Canadian Prepper, for example, is like a lot of the videos are, put a camera up in the car, talk, one take, boom, content's out there, not a whole bunch of editing involved in it, and it's able to do that a lot rapidly versus the kind of other the deep dive ones at all the camera angles and the overlays and the research and the PDFs and and at the end of the day, do you need that? But I think I'm going to keep doing it my way just because I'm stubborn. But
well, and I think you 100% should. I was more curious for me, like if I did it the other way, would anyone care? And
well,
like
maybe,
my dozens of viewers versus your millions and millions of fans. Like, I'm just curious, like, is anyone even going to notice or care?
I think you could probably do a balance where like, hey, every week I'm just going to do a talking head video on this day. Like, and then on Wednesdays, I'm going to talk with Tup. And once a month, maybe I'll do a long video that took me a long time to make. Maybe that's the approach.
I like where your head's at. You're very smart. You should do this YouTube thing. I think
I've been thinking about doing something on YouTube.
Yeah, I think there could be something there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Thinking about it. So I had a different show and tell item, but I think this is the latest and greatest show and tell. So
okay, a little of both would be great. That's fantastic. Appreciate that. All right, we're gonna go with that. People would just listen to us talk. I love that because we enjoy talking. Specifically me. I know you do as well, but like I could just go and go and go and go. Let's see. I've put out 2 videos, one EDC and one survival kits for the car, and shotgun through it. It's definitely not anywhere. You know what? We try. All of us try to be Tup. It's what we try to do. It's what we aspire to be. Luckily, I convinced him to do this thing because he's very busy, and I made a logo and convinced him that it would be fun. And somehow he continues to show up every week. So we're just gonna ride this. We're gonna ride this train until the wheels fall off or Mom gets too pissed. One or the other.
Yeah, I mean it's cool that we have. I mean, 10 years ago or over 10 years ago, we didn't have this outlet where all of us, none of us knew who each other were. I didn't know who Modern Day Prepper was. I didn't know who Cascadia Dispatch was or Pony Girl. But now we have this way of communicating with like-minded people. It's just awesome to keep putting content out there in whatever way we can. So, I mean, I'm actually working on a video on the landscape of like, where's prepping come from? Like at least YouTube prepping, like where's it come since over the last decade? Because there's been a lot of changes. Like on where it was and where it is now. Like we used to go through a big phase of everyone was doing reviews of every product because we're starting to hey, but you gotta buy this new backpack or this new knife or this new flashlight. And then preppers became like infomercial sellers. And then I think actually Canadian Prepper, I think, is one of the ones that did. So screw it, I'm just gonna do like philosophy videos and talk about what I think, and then I don't have to buy anything.
Exactly.
And those are more popular anyway. So it's kind of cool. Like the history of YouTube preppers is cool.
And now I don't even know that he did this philosophy. He just every day tells me how the world is going to end in 4 hours. It's not even like this is coming in 6 months. You should be aware of it. World ends today. 14 exclamation marks, and then that's the video. And I'm like, Okay, well, I'm gonna take off early for lunch, I guess, and
Yeah,
just
usually
wait for the end.
usually when these kind of things happen, I go on like go in underground mode for a little bit and don't post for a while just because if because like when like COVID is going on and then the stuff like international things going on now and other things like if there's a hot topic, usually you're not going to see a video from me about the topic. I'm gonna be going and working on stuff behind the scenes because people want to watch the hot topic stuff anyway,
Yeah.
and I'd rather just do. But I also don't want to put out a. I learned that from COVID, like because I worked so hard on one of my rap videos for today's a prep day, and I did it like right at the
Oh,
heart of early on COVID, and like it was dismal. So it's like, and then like I did a video that was no effort involved, and it did well. So then I'm like, well, should I waste the time or should I hold the line and just wait until the right time? But
first off, the prep day video was amazing.
I
And I
that's
like that was like my transcendent moment where I was like, am I part of the club now?
yeah.
Because Tup invited me to be part of this, and I was like, I don't even know what to do with
I
myself.
think you were in the same outfit in the, in the
No, I
video.
was wearing my red sweater. This was before I had like sweat merch and all
Oh,
kinds
that's
of things.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, this was back in the day where I only had a small shelf thing behind me. I hadn't gone full to the ceiling. We only had a couple of Legos. We hadn't really built the Legos into the process yet. So it was an older thing. But as someone who stumbled into the COVID thing, I literally was just like, because the first cases happened like a mile from our house,
Yeah.
and
The Pacific Northwest was kind of the
yeah,
epicenter.
and it was literally like the first one in Oregon was going to the like urgent care facility that was literally the one that we go to when we get like a cold or something. And so I happened to just be like, I wonder, like the shelves are just bare and I haven't made a video in a while. Let me look around and see what's here. And like all of a sudden, like it went bananas. And then I expected all my videos to go bananas, and that is not what happened.
Yeah.
But like it's true. It's like the ones, I think you did a couple of like top 10 things to prep. Like whenever we do like a top 10 Costco preps or top
Yeah.
10 Walmart preps or something, those not only do they go ballistic, but those tend to stand for a while. Like
That's
you can get a steady stream of views and interest even past that moment.
that's they call that the evergreen content where it's a evergreen.
Yes.
Yeah, those I'm always trying to search for the evergreen and not the current things. I don't know. I I feel better about myself trying to do
not
evergreen.
not doing the clickbait. This
Well,
is an
yeah, I mean,
emergency now thing.
yeah, but if it helps, I mean,
Yeah.
I see both sides because if it helps bring new people into prepping that weren't into it before, then it's a win. But I just like doing trying to find the next evergreen content thing that might last for a few years type thing. But
Yeah.
and then I also don't want to be like the boy that cried wolf, like to like
Like
until
literally
the
every day.
yeah. So I want to yeah, if you ever see like a it's like I don't know one of the extreme thumbnails for me that's it's probably a prank actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. It's usually, and as we've learned, Tup's pranks go fantastically well.
I go big on
He
upset.
is nothing if not a great. What's going to be fantastic is when you find out that your father-in-law actually orchestrated this whole thing, and it is just a gigantic prank on you.
That would be next level. That'd be a 4D prank, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a
Yeah.
whole different world. Um, so Pony Girl, yes, I did. This is the post vacation COVID rearrangement thing. We went to Disney World. It was postponed for 3 years due to the pandemic. We had a big family vacation with my parents and family. Everybody went. And so we went to Galaxy's Edge and at the Hollywood Studios, the Star Wars land, and got the helmets, and we took the kids to get the lightsabers and the droids. We did all of the things. So it was quite the time. And I figured I would share that for right now, and then we'll change it out again. That's the joy of the shelves. You never know what you're gonna find. You never know what's gonna be there. But yeah, it's Star Wars. It's Star Wars, and this one is the actual transport. When you go to Star Wars land and you go to Rise of the Resistance, they put you on this transport. And I had to actually find that set because they don't make it anymore. So I could do that. But yes, always keeping the shelves, mixing it up, mixing them around, all that sort of thing. All right. I feel like we had so much to catch up on. I don't even know.
I know we have designated topics, but I'm just happy just talking.
Yeah, like this is fantastic. I feel like our original plan for this show was to talk about things that we did in duplicates or multiples, and that was kind of way back in a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago.
That was so May. It was.
It was so.
That's so May 2022.
So May. And so what we were talking about was just like, okay, are there things that you would want to have more than one of? And what are those things? And specifically not food related, because everyone's always trying to store extra food and that sort of stuff. You obviously have more than one AirTag now. That's a thing that is on your list and agenda.
Yeah. GPS tracking. I want more than one. Yeah. I think it's. I've always wanted to have. I have a lot of phones because I'm Android user, and some of them are cheaper. And once it's end of life, like it's out of the rotation, it's in a box, and I can reuse it. So and you factory reset it. So I wanted to have more than one GPS solution for stolen cars now. So
of course.
But I've always wanted to have a backup phone in each of the cars. So now I do. Yeah, I have to pay, I think, $10 extra a SIM card per month. So it's my investment towards that. But
so I used to have a really inexpensive cell plan for the kids' emergency phones that was through T-Mobile. It was like $3 a month or something like that.
Nice.
And then when that expired, we just put them onto our plan for the unlimited so that we can talk and text and GPS and all that sort of stuff. What plan do you use for the extra SIM cards? That's
so I have a family unlimited plan, and my wife's on it. I am on it. I have my Coinbase one for my crypto stuff. That's it. They have it has its own phone. And now I have two extra ones that I picked up this weekend for the vehicles. So now I have like vehicle backup phone 1, vehicle backup phone 2, and I have fake names for them for on the caller ID when they show up on there. So, but I think as preppers, it's good to have like a backup phone because if you lose your phone, then I still have one in the car technically. And if someone needed to have it, I'll be able to. The phones are their primary purposes for tracking now. So I have most things disabled on the phones. The Wi-Fi is disabled. The Bluetooth is disabled to help not drain the power. The display is like on the lowest setting, so you could barely even see it to hopefully help not drain the battery. But duplicates. So for my vehicles now, I want to have double duplicates. I want to have AirTags and a backup phone, and I'm going to be tracking both of them. And then even with the club, I have a club for the steering wheel, and I have one for the that goes in the brake. So
that's fantastic.
I don't know, but bad guys, if they really want it, they're going to get around all that stuff. So
I just remember that when I put out a video a couple of years ago about the emergency funds for the kids and what we were doing and why we were doing it. And I remember some of the comments, people were like, why would you give your kids a phone? They're blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, hey. Tup's Coinbase account has its own phone. Each of Tup's cars has their own phone.
I wish I could tell you my phony names for the for my phones because I can't say because
keep them separate, secret.
Yeah, but it's like characters from 1980s movies. I'll just leave it at that. So, but it's like I have whole kind of dummy accounts for.
Is the Coinbase one Ted DiBiase, and are the cars Randy Savage and
basically like so it's like a Ted DiBiase 1985 at protonmail.com or something like that, or
fantastic.
And then on the caller ID, they're like, hey, well. What do you want to set up your caller ID for? I'm like, Ted DiBiase and Randy Savage. So now when someone calls, it's.
I love that.
So Big Ross was asking about that the phones are charged to the cars. No, I don't have it I don't want it to drain the car battery, so I have it connect the phones are connected to a power bank, a 12,000 milliamp hour power bank by Voltaic, which supports pass-through charging, and so And so the power bank is what I'm charging, and then the phone's connected to that power bank. So as we're driving around, it's continuously keeping that power bank charged up, and that power bank is continuously keeping the phone charged up, and the phone screen never comes on anyway. So it's just for tracking. So far, the phones are always at 100%.
So the voltaic stuff sounds like
They're
kind of
coming
like
down
a
a price
battery
too.
tender. It's like a trickle charger sort of an idea. Does it, so it doesn't draw power from the car when the car is not on. It
No,
only charges when the car is on.
exactly. But
Okay.
that's one of the cool things about the voltaics versus anchors, because I'm a big anchor fan, but
Yeah.
anchor doesn't support pass-through charging, so you can't do that with the anchor.
Anchor, if you'd like an idea, if you'd like a
We've
sponsorship
been saying it for
opportunity,
years.
like
Yeah.
we would be all about that.
Yeah. So yeah, so far it's working good. But that's a big, that's good question on that. So I just always
Yeah.
hesitant on draining the car battery for like.
Yeah. Well, I got so we have had our car broken into a few times. Several times when we've been to Seattle, by the way. I feel like
It's not my fault.
I feel like it's you. I feel like
trying
it's
to
you.
make the city good, but it keeps, man, it's getting rough.
Yeah. They broke into our car on Christmas Eve in a locked parking garage, but they pulled all the presents out, which was the funniest part of the whole
I've had that happen too.
So we had to drive, like they left the presents, but they like pulled them out of the car and like left them like on the sidewalk. It was very odd. But then we had to drive to my in-laws with like no window. It was a whole production. But anyway, so I had dash cams put in because we have cameras all around our house, but there have been a couple of times where we've had people go up and even with the cameras on the front of the house, they'll get up next to the car or they'll try to open the door or whatever. So we have dash cams now that are inside and outside and always on if there is a vibration. Nice. So which is great, except there have been a couple of times where I've gone out and my battery has been drained on the car that we don't drive as much. And I was like, I wonder if it's from the dash cam or if it's just that we haven't driven the car in a couple of weeks.
I've had that problem before. We used to live in a real small apartment, like in the very urban area, and it was rough outside. There's shootings and prostitutes and all sorts of stuff. And I started putting this is before my YouTube days, but I was like like the guy from Enemy of the State, Gene Hackman. I don't know if you remember that movie. I had cameras all over the place, like in plants and on the emergency staircase of this apartment complex. And it was to the point where then the police started coming over to my place to get video footage of certain things that have gone on outside. And so they would come up and I'd give them a USB stick. Hey, here's the footage from last Wednesday night where the shooting happened. But I was a total narc. So we cleaned up the area. Like they stopped hanging out in that area because they kept getting popped and they had no idea where these secret cameras were.
Except for that one guy who tracked you for
however many years later. Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to get that guy. I saw the cameras. I knew he had things. I'm taking his Jeep. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. He got me back, but he paid the price. So at least,
exactly.
Knowing in today's day, he'll probably get out with a slap on the wrist or whatever, but that's another story.
Oh, that's all right. I mean,
I don't want to bring it.
Not ideal. Welcome to the Doom Zoom.
Now, welcome everyone to the Doom Zoom. We made it there.
We've made it. It was a little bit of a left turn, but we arrived at the Doom Zoom. So I was one of the things that I was doing, or I don't know. I feel like I need to talk about this because I put it together, but it was not like I was going to talk about backpacks because I feel like we always love to have extra backpacks, and that's a thing you can have. And I got a bunch of backpacks. Blankets was a thing that I was like, okay, you can always, even like the old blankets that we have, like some of them we'll give to charity or donate them, but a lot of them we hold on to and put them in like totes and put them all around the house. So it's like, okay, if something were to happen and we needed something, like that's around. Hard drives and USB sticks, which I just dropped my USB stick, but like the little hard drives, this little SanDisk that you can get at Costco, because I love everything that Costco has. So this is like a terabyte. They make a 4 terabyte version now of it as well, which is fantastic. But having a bunch of these with backups of family photos and whatever, and especially if you're traveling, I'll often put, I've scanned all of the documents pretty much in our house, so in case there was a fire or a flood or something, or we're across the country and we needed something, I can get copies of whatever it is really quickly. While we were traveling, we actually had someone who misplaced their driver's license, and we were like, oh shoot, if we need a copy of something until we can get, we at least would have a copy of that. But my father was actually talking about, he was worried if someone broke into their house while we were gone, of having access to all of their, financial stuff, if, it was stored in a browser or whatever. And what do we do? Like, do we disconnect our computers and put them in closets, or do you lock them down, or go put them in a safe deposit box, or like, what is that? Do you have a method when you go out of town to secure all of your digital things beyond just a password on your computer, for example?
I don't want to seem
Without giving away anything
I don't want to
super
give all my secrets, but
specific.
yeah, what I do is that there's certain things that I don't, I just count that someone's might break in while we're gone, and so
Yeah.
there's stuff that gets hidden to certain places, whether it's up
Yeah.
in like the attic or hidden in a place that no one would ever find. I have a Mission Darkness large Faraday bag, so even if they
Yeah.
were scanning for it, they wouldn't find it.
Mhm.
And I put my laptops and certain things, external hard drives. Like I have ones.
Yeah.
I like the ones by Samsung. These little ones. The SSD ones are really nice. But
Yeah.
I put them in a Faraday bag, and I have it in a hiding spot that I cannot
Okay.
speak of its exact location.
Yes.
Because
No.
that Jeep guy is probably listening and
Oh,
trying to
he is
get my
looking for the
weaknesses.
next thing.
Yeah,
He's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna steal a Jeep. So
Yeah.
he'll talk about where he stores things
Yeah.
on his podcast, and
Yep.
then I'll get the good stuff.
But that's I definitely I do that. So with my
Yeah.
with the laptops and with portable hard drives, everything else. I mean, if they want to steal it, they can, I guess. But yeah, the people like when they stole the Jeep, this guy had a whole bunch of, he had a big binder, and it was filled with, and like a notebook filled with people's credit card numbers, social security numbers, birth certificates, like it was like stolen, all the stolen stuff.
Oh
So we
wow.
had to give it back to the police. But these bad guys are really
As opposed, you had to give it back, as opposed to going dark with all of it and then assuming all of your new identities.
Yeah. It was but it was, I mean, just like the organization that they had, like they had, it was this person, again, career bad guy,
Mhm.
but just had it all, had birth certificate of these people. It looked like just giving every little information that they could for identity theft, which is really scary. And so now we're like we're trying to figure out, do we want to even have our registration and stuff in the vehicles now? Because if someone were to break in, we know that they're going to steal everything. Do we want them to have our even our names or anything like that? So now I'm having to, or do I want to have it now in a secret location that they'll never find, like under some kind of floorboard or something like that? I don't know. I don't know what the best thing is.
So my question is, and Pony Girl, I think a few of the people in the chat may be having a similar thought. Were you more upset that he had all of those stolen identity pieces, or were you more upset that in the binder that he had organized, he did not color code them based on the type of document that it was?
Yeah. There was room for improvement in the binder, I thought.
Okay. I mean,
It was more, yeah, I think it was more the still. Yeah, I think anytime like someone steals, it's like it feels like a violation, like a violation to you that is not as used to. So, but yeah, I think his I don't think he was following any kind of color prepping or anything. There is some improvement opportunities there. Oh my gosh, we have prepping penguin here.
Yeah, exactly.
And I saw Kate.
No, wait a minute. We have the prepping penguin, and we have prepping penguin.
Oh, we got a secret account.
What's happening here? Are we really in the multiverse? Like, we put it in as a joke.
I have secret accounts too.
So. When we came up with this, the multiverse movie had just come out. That's how long it's been since we did an episode. Now I think it's on Disney Plus, whatever. Like, everyone's seen it. We have. Oh, they're both her. Wait a minute. So she has two accounts in your stream right now? That's amazing. And you know what? I'm a little hurt because
Well, I think
none of
Prepping
them are in
Penguin
mine.
is a fella,
That's
is one of the fellas. But yeah, is that on my stream? Okay, that's on my stream. It's hard.
yeah,
It's always
they're both in your stream.
and
So
the
yes, so they're
Caitlin Strain I see is here. Welcome, welcome. Little late, but you're here. You made it. So.
that's okay. Yeah, we're here. We've got it. Yeah, that's okay, Kaylin. In like, I don't know, a week or two, it'll be on Disney Plus. It's been out for almost a month, so it'll be fine. And when it comes out, you should watch it. It's very good. If you're a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I would say top tier, fantastic.
Now, and Prepping Penguin is his whoa, Hamahi. So I think
yeah.
Did you assume gender there, Casey? Is that what
I didn't mean to? I don't.
You
think
saw
so.
the penguin and you just assumed that.
There was. Here's the deal.
I know.
In your Discord,
Prepping Penguin's in my phone.
Okay. Well, look, we know you have lots of famous prepping friends. You're a big prepping deal. You're all of the things. And those of us prepping peons, we just try, or prepping peasants, we just try. There is Denise in your Discord. I think her avatar in Discord is something like a penguin sort of thing. So I always associate penguins and Denise. And so when Prepping Penguin come on, I thought that was Denise. And it's not Denise. It's obviously a very muscular looking man penguin who is friends with you, who is not friends with me, which is very sad for me. And I didn't mean to offend the Prepper Penguin. Yeah. I would like to be friends with Prepper Penguin because obviously if he's friends with you, then he's probably a big prepping deal.
Penguin,
and again,
Prepping Penguin's avatar is awesome, by the way. And
it is a ripped looking penguin. I do not want to mess around with the Prepping Penguin based on how swole he looks in his avatar. He has been putting up some weight, and he's
been lifting. I don't know if it's from prison, like he lifted. Who knows? But yeah, Under Pressure with Denise is that's every time I see Denise, I always think of that one skit on the D Nice with I don't know if you remember the substitute principal. I don't know if you remember that from. Anyway, that's
big prep and deal.
Big prep and deal.
Like that. Yeah. Also, I'm going to make one. Yeah, so we'll make one for Tup that says Big Prep and Deal, and I'll make one for myself that says Prep and Peasant. And that'll be the dichotomy that we have going forward. That would be fantastic.
There's all sorts of great ideas. This is kind of like a meeting of the minds with a lot of great marketing ideas, I think. So
yeah. I know a ration reviewer who uses a penguin as his avatar. His penguin is standing holding an MRE. Prepping Penguin's avatar looks like it could bench press a pallet of MREs, I think is what it is. I'm glad to know that Prepping Penguin would buy both shirts. Yep. I think he would like yours more, but it's just the vibe.
Get the whole set, maybe a 2-for-1 type thing, or buy two.
We should like a limited edition sort of a thing. Yeah, I think we should do that. I think that could work. I like that very much. Let's see. Prepping Penguin coins, that is.
Yeah. This has the coin arrived, or
wait, there's a coin.
We'll see. There's a special Prepping Penguin coin that's limited edition.
Oh, okay.
It's made of pure gold. No, I got a gold. I got a one of my preps was.
Wait, you have a Prepping Penguin gold coin?
I'm gonna get the gold tooth, the Prepping Penguin gold tooth coming up pretty soon. But I got
wow.
I got one of the little 1/10 gold coins recently, which was pretty cool. Came in the mail with it. So anyway, I'm trying to up my gold game a little bit, but it's so expensive. It's hard to, even this is anyway.
I was gonna do one of the videos I was thinking about doing is there's a bunch of different services that do auto basically like auto subscription to gold.
That's what I do. Yeah, that's what I do.
And I've been very interested in the mechanical fees that are involved in those. And so the like financy investment background piece of me wants to do a deep dive into spot price versus premium versus payment for the ounce versus payment for fractional shares and that sort of thing. Because not only do you have with gold, you have the spot price changing, but you also have then the premium price per coin changing. So if
Yep.
you've got like, I started doing American Eagles, gold American Eagles, and then I realized that they weren't actually pure gold. They're like 22 karat or something. And so if you want pure gold, you go like Canadian maple leaf or the buffalo head.
Yeah, I like the maple leaves.
American coin.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I for me, like for the gold and silver, if I don't have it in hand, I don't feel like I own it. So I don't do like keep investing here, and then as soon as you get this, then we'll send you the no, I don't want to do that. So it has to be in hand or it's not mine. So
exactly, yeah, that's the balance that I have, is because like the most efficient economic way to do it is to get like an ounce, because the premium is less than if you do
if you did 10 if you did 10 of these, like it's way more than what an ounce is. And so but I just wanted one because I just wanted one. So
yeah, exactly. Like, and that's totally fine. You're like, you just wanted one. That's fine.
I just wanted it.
Yeah, I just wanted a tenth of an ounce of gold, and so I caught that. And that's what I did. That's how we roll. Yeah. So I think there are a lot of people who look at that and have the same thing. If they want it in hand, but what's the most efficient way to get that where you're not losing so much money in the premium price, sort of a thing. So that's something I want to look at.
Part of me wants to be like, I don't know if you remember Back to the Future Part 2, but Doc Brown had, when he went back into 1955, he had that suitcase and it had currency from various years and stuff like that. I'd love to have like a small little similar concept with regard to, okay, I got some maple leaves here. I got some silver eagles here. I have some Canadian cash, USD. I have some pesos, and having kind of that Doc Brown suitcase, not with a lot of money, but just different, just in case I need to, in an emergency situation, I need some.
Have to get out of here.
Yeah, just have to get out of here and go to use my pesos. So
go buy some rubles. They're on sale. I think I've heard they're very inexpensive right now. You can buy lots of them. Gold prepping penguin coin. We get brass.
Okay.
I mean,
brass is pretty valuable too. No,
here's the deal: if I get a prepping penguin coin of any metal, I would be delighted. Yeah. I would consider that a win for me and my prepping journey. But if you're tough, then you're disappointed because you thought you were getting 24 karat. That's how he rolls with his millions.
That's
and millions
what 24 karat magic is in the air. That Bruno Mars. I think that was named after the prepping penguin coin. That's what I assumed.
There's a casual prepping podcast who I feel like is the closest thing to us. They are not the number one.
They've been killing it on TikTok lately.
They're the most popular prepping podcast. They are not the most popular prepping podcast for non-preppers, which is I think where we shine. We're the number one prepping podcast for non-preppers. But they have a thing that they put up, and they're like, ask us questions for this week's, I think it's weekly drivel or something, or they call it something like that. I was like, I feel like that is our show. We whatever, like we have an idea and then we just talk about whatever for like an hour, and that's and then we call it a show. I think that's what we do.
Yeah, totally.
Fantastic.
That's my specialty.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm starting to get calls. So I think that maybe that means
okay.
Mom is pissed. Is mom pissed?
Okay, if mom is pissed, it's time to wrap it up. Prepping penguin, what would you like? Should I send you the actual brass? Do you like some Luna coin? I hear that's also on sale for anyone who would like that. How do we make this happen? I will 100% do that. Drop me a note. We'll make it work. Or let Tup know. Address. Got it.
Big Ross, that's a great idea. You guys should make a Prep Talk Collector's Edition coin with Tup on one side and Cascadia on the other. Big time.
I love that. Okay, we can make that happen. We can. You think we're kidding? We have t-shirt designs are happening. Like there's so many things.
We may end up getting tattoos. We'll see.
Look, I like you a lot, and I really am committed to this. Like I will pay to have a lot of things designed. Temporary tattoos.
That
Now,
maybe that's more appropriate. Like,
I feel like that's the thing, and I think it would maybe be more like the 2 tools, 1 tup
there we
would be
go.
the temporary
That needs to
tattoo.
come out too. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think we can
tattoo might be
do
a little permanent. So I think
that.
you don't want to put a bumper sticker on a Bentley, they say. So like
Fair.
we have pristine skin.
That's fair. All right.
I don't know. Do you have any tattoos that we don't know about?
I have 0 tattoos.
Yeah.
I have a scar above my eye.
I have a scar. Yeah, I have a scar. I think scars are cool, but
and I have a scar from my back surgery.
Okay.
Because my back was broken when I was 16. But that's
okay,
a whole different story.
I'm getting
All
more
right.
calls. I'm getting more calls.
Okay, you need to go. Your Coinbase is calling you.
Tracker
or something.
detectives. I gotta.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole thing. We got to get addresses to Prepping Penguin. We'll figure that out at some point.
I'll put my people in contact with your people, and we'll get.
Okay, yeah, we'll make it work. We'll do that. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you haven't already, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll be back next Wednesday because we're both in town, and I don't think we are planning on getting COVID again. So we'll plan on that. If you are a podcast person, subscribe to the podcast. More episodes are coming out. I got a backlog. We got to get ourselves up to where we are to current, but I'm getting those out as much as I can. Check us out on TikTok because we try to make interesting things there. And we're going to be chopping up a bunch of these episodes and putting them on there too. Thanks a lot. And we'll see you next week on our regular time. Thanks for joining us. It's been fun. We've missed you. We're back. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.